Yes, this is Karen Hudis, and I wanted to tell you about my correspondence with a Kansas member of the Electoral College, Ann Taylor. She sent me an email, and wanted to get back to her and find out what on earth she was thinking because I had warned all of the electors that there was no Constitution of 1789 in effect, and therefore there was no Electoral College. And this is the correspondence I have with her. I sent her an email on the 10th of Tuesday. Please be informed that I am going to put our correspondence out on my social media. If you have any response, I will publish that alongside what you already received from me, what you sent to me, and this email. The entire country is going to learn what you tried to do to us. Fortunately, it doesn't count, and neither does the vote of any of the other so-called electorals. Without the Constitution of 1789 in force and effect, and there's a link here to congressional papers where the Congress has declared a state of emergency and suspended the Constitution. The Constitution has not been in effect since 1871 because of the banking cartel. And I get all these terrible pop-ups. Sorry for the interruption. Nothing that you or they did counts. Meanwhile, Trump is going through the motions, but many, many, many of us are onto him and his fraud. Goodbye. And this is a link to another screenshot that I put up, which you can certainly click on. I'll put all these documents up after this presentation. And on the 14th of November, that was when I put this link up, I told people there were only bogus elections in the United States because the Constitution of 1789 was not in effect and the Electoral College could not be properly convened. This screenshot explains this reality. I've also linked this to other documents previously uploaded in my other social media. And scrolling down, I had gotten in touch with Kelly the day before, and I asked her whether my email telling her that Congress had suspended the Constitution was correct. And you can see on the 15th of December, that's before the electors voted, esteemed electors, you will live in shame. Anything you do is reversed when the Constitution is not in effect. And so I asked her, I said, you were not ignorant of this fact. Were you completely shameless or just stupid? How do you justify what you did? And here on the 6th of November, that's before the elections, I got in touch with the man who is supposed to be supervising the Electoral College. And I'll give you a link to that. I actually have the letter down here. It's Mr. Ferriaro. Dear Mr. Ferriaro, as the U.S. Congress has suspended the Constitution of 1789 by declaring a state of emergency, and there's the link to the congressional documents, the provisions concerning the Electoral College process do not apply. Neither do the laws governing the electoral process, which provide that electors shall vote for president and vice president respectively in the manner directed by the Constitution. The Board of Governors of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund administer the monetary gold reserves of the United States pursuant to the bilateral Minesfield Breakthrough Successor Agreement, which was accepted on behalf of the United States on the 11th of August 1950 by President Harold Truman and General Dwight Eisenhower. I vote the shares of the United States on the Board of Governors on behalf of the United States until the Constitution of 1789 goes back into effect via Article 5. The Secretaries of State of 10 states in which the Federal Reserve banks are located have filed UCC-1 financing statements evidencing over $2 quadrillion, together with compounded accrued interest on Treaty of Versailles bonds issued by the Federal Reserve during the 1930s. The Board of Governors has informed Illinois' Secretary of State that he had no authority to attempt to invalidate the financing statement which was duly filed against the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. The Federal Reserve banks are insolvent and are being wound down in the global debt facility. On behalf of the Board of Governors of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, I have informed Germany and Japan that the monetary gold reserves of the United States in the global debt facility are being deployed to enable the United States to fulfill its treaty obligations in the defense of Germany and Japan. And there's a link to my letter to Germany and Japan's military attaches in the Washington, D.C. embassies of Germany and Japan. And I signed that as acting general counsel of the World Bank's International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and also I'm overseer mandate trustee of the Global Debt Facility. That means that the United States monetary gold reserves count and are backing the United States.